Virgo, this January is full of passion and maybe even romance for some of you, particularly as we are moving through Capricorn season. I really see January 11th, 111, as an especially powerful time with the new moon in Capricorn taking place in your fifth house of relationships, specifically dating, but also creativity and passion. So I really feel like this is a good time for you to manifest things that make you feel alive, that really bring out your light. I do also see a lot of healing happening in your personal lives, specifically since we start off this month with your ruling planet Mercury moving direct in the sign of Sagittarius. So there may be some important communication with family members or just sorting issues out at home or in your personal life, but overall this is really helping you move forward. If you're excited for this month's reading, then definitely be sure to hit like, subscribe, and the bell notification so you can always stay up to date with what's in the cards for you. For those of you who are brand new to this channel, hello and welcome to Serafino Esoterica. My name is Michael and I utilize tarot and tropical astrology to intuit monthly forecasts for your zodiac sign. For those of you who are ready for a deep dive, you can find links in the description of this video for personal readings and distance Reiki sessions. You can book all of that on my website. I am also running a sale through January, so if you missed the holiday sale last month, fret not. You can still get 20% off any astrology chart reading using the code in the stars. This is a great time to see what is happening for you in 2024, as well as what is playing out in your birth chart right now. As I shuffle the cards for you, Virgo, I'm just going to give my friendly reminder that these are general readings, meaning not all of the messages that come forward are going to be meant for you specifically. It's up to your own intuition to discern whether these messages are for you or how they apply to your life, or if they should just be left behind for somebody else. Some of the roles in this reading may also be switched, so someone else's energy may be your own, or vice versa. And ultimately, if this reading just doesn't resonate, it's totally fine. Nothing went wrong. You are more than welcome to check out the readings for your moon or rising sign. However, there may be some messages there for you that do resonate. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I do have an astrology chart calculator in the description box down below that should be able to point out what your sun and moon and rising signs are. Anyways, Virgo, I'm really curious to see what we have for you in terms of the tarot. I really do feel like January is kind of off to a nice fresh start. I feel like with Jupiter going direct on December 30th in your astrological ninth house of education and worldliness, philosophy, spirituality, some of you may even be thinking about things like going back to school or really diving into some area of study. We do also have Mercury going direct on January 1st, so right on New Year's Day. This feels like there's just a lot of forward-moving energy for this new year that feels very positive to me. Interesting. And some of you really may have been doing some shadow work with the Devil, the Nine of Cups, and the King of Pentacles. And it's like, I feel like this just screams, like, what do you really want, Virgo? That's something that you've been having to figure out for yourself. Because when I look at the Devil and specifically the King of Pentacles, it almost feels like there may have been goals or there may have been things in your life that you thought you wanted because you were conditioned to want them. And that could look like even what you expect out of a relationship. But this could also really connect to things like the career you aspire towards or the goals that you have in life. It really does feel like you've needed to sort out what is actually genuine for you versus what was an expectation, especially from your family. That makes a lot of sense with Mercury having been retrograde in your fourth house of home and family throughout December. And now moving forward, I really feel like you have figured out what makes you happy. And, you know, maybe there's multiple elements here too. I know oftentimes when we see the devil or when we think of darkness, we try to banish this energy, but it really is just sort of a part of us. And I think it's just like kind of acknowledging maybe there are some unaligned aspects or some shadow aspects for what it is that you desire or how you want to move forward in your life. And it's not necessarily about removing that or getting rid of that or projecting that out of you. It's more like seeing yourself as a whole picture. You know, seeing your light and shadow, figuring out what it is you want to build, what it is you want to create. And I feel like for some of you, you might have even been afraid to pursue what it is you really desire. And that's a part of the shadow work that you're doing as well, which also feels very tied into home and family and tradition, like these things that may have made you afraid of what it is that you really want. Maybe you grew up in a really religious household, but you're really interested in spirituality or esoterica that you were taught is dark, but you're feeling more confident, more comfortable pursuing what it is that inspires you. And that's just one example. I really just feel like you're getting in touch with what it is that you really want, even if you've made that wrong or other people made that wrong. So very interesting, kind of deep right off the bat sort of energy. I feel like there is a lot of really big realizations or conversations that you are having right at the beginning of this year. What else do we have for Virgo? Whoops. What else do we have for Virgo? Show us clearly, please. We do also have Justice coming out. And this really does feel like finding a balance. And I think that's kind of with the devil energy, that balance of light and dark, seeing things in very objective terms. And almost like seeing the story for what it is, a story. That's for some reason what I'm getting with Justice here. I also just dropped another card. If I can reach it. The Ace of Swords, interesting. So yeah, there's a lot of clarity, there's a lot of conversations, and it feels very measured, very logical. Like, I feel like you just have to be objective with people and very direct with people. And it's like certain relationships are either going to work or they won't. There's not really like a sugarcoating either. I just feel like you're very, very direct this month, or that is the advice for you, is to be just very honest, very direct with yourself and with others. Even if other people might not understand or demonize you. What else do we have? For those of you who have been dealing with a challenging individual, maybe an earth sign, so another Virgo, also Taurus or Capricorn energies coming in really strong, or maybe even an air sign, I really feel like there is something that is going to resolve fairly for you with the Ace of Swords and Justice. There's a fair decision that is being made, or a fair settlement that is happening. And it feels like this is kind of tying up loose ends so you can move forward. It feels like there is a favorable resolution for you, or at least a fair resolution moving forward. And the 10 of Pentacles, my goodness, yes, you are looking very, very good in the month of January, Virgo. I feel like there's a lot of stability here, and not only for yourself, but how it is you want to grow, your legacy. I often do think of the 10 of Pentacles as representing some level of tradition again, which is interesting that kind of keeps coming up. But it's really like, what are the traditions I want to continue, and what are the dynamics, the intergenerational traumas that I no longer wish to replicate in my life, and really moving forward. I feel like a lot of you are manifesting abundance or stability this year. It feels like your resolution has a lot to do with becoming more stable or more successful, or really kind of going to the next level, really thinking about your future. Tell me more about this 10 of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles with the Eight of Wands. Yeah, there quite literally could be some movement, some travel going on, but I really feel like you are just moving towards your future very quickly, or there is abundance that you are working very hard towards. And again, January is a really good month to get things done, especially since the next couple of months can be a little more abstract, a little more heady, just looking at the astrology. Specifically the end of January, actually, with Venus in Capricorn forming a trine or 90-degree aspect with Jupiter in Taurus. This is a very, very powerful time for manifesting, and this is actually just really positive because both Venus and Jupiter are very benefic energies. This could quite literally be a travel indicator as well, or a big move that you are making. Some of you are investing in something that you really care about. It feels like there is something that you might be creating that you could also be putting out into the world. That is something I could see for many of you too. And I mean, honestly, 2024 in general is going to be a really good year for your career because we will have Jupiter moving into Gemini about halfway through the year. And that's going to really bless your public image. That's going to really address or bless your role, your public image, your career, anything that kind of could represent how you relate to the world at large, what you're putting out into the world. But I feel like you're really feeling something or moving something quite powerfully at the end of January. Something feels like it's being put into action. There is a decision that's being made and you are moving very quickly towards something. You're feeling very decisive, or that is something that you just need to do. You just need to decide how you're going to move forward, Virgo. And we do have the world here. We do have a plethora of opportunities and possibilities for you. I really do feel like there is this advancement, there is this growth, and it might even intimidate you a little bit. Looking at this Queen of Cups in reverse, there might be some fears, there might be some insecurities. You might also be having a hard time kind of dissecting fear from intuition. And that's just something to kind of be mindful of. You know, if you're very fearful or nervous, you might not have a clear intuitive outlook on something. But I really do feel like with the world, yes, trust in these opportunities, trust in these possibilities that you are manifesting for yourself or creating for yourself. I really do feel like there is a lot of growth that is taking place for you. And where is all of this leading? Show us clearly. My goodness, I keep dropping these cards. There's just a lot of messages coming in. Interesting. We do have the Nine of Swords and the Five of Wands. Don't be too concerned about what other people think of you. Especially if people are kind of teasing you or just not really supporting you. There's almost this energy of like other people trying to keep you small or trying to, I guess, punch holes in your ideas. Some people often do this as like a way of sort of protecting you, like don't get your hopes up sort of thing. I could almost see that here with the Nine of Swords and Five of Wands, but it feels like, honestly, there are people in your life who just aren't going to understand what it is that you're doing or what it is that you desire. They have their own thoughts and feelings, and it feels like they're just very triggered by something. I think you kind of have to rise above that, Virgo, to be honest. And I actually was hearing something about people-pleasing earlier. I think some of you are letting go of people-pleasing tendencies. And the Magician, yes. You have what you need to be successful, to get what you want. The Magician is very powerful when we're talking about manifestation. Again, this just feels like a very strong energy that you were moving into. It feels very empowered. And you're not trying to control things that aren't really yours to control, which is the thoughts and feelings of other people. And I think as Virgos, because I'm a Virgo sun myself, I get it. We really try to be in control of the process a lot of the time, But it's kind of our job to figure out, how do I best use my active mind? How do I apply this in ways that are actually going to be beneficial for myself and other people versus what's just going to be a waste of my time? What am I going to overthink to make me super anxious? The Nine of Swords kind of is this Virgo energy because it's often about being stuck in your own head, just getting really anxious or even depressed. It's like getting too much in your own story and like needing to let that go. And I feel like there could be some conflict in your life, Virgo, but it's honestly not as big as you may think it is. It feels like there's just kind of petty conflict. Don't be afraid to rock the boat. That's what I'm going to tell you. Because you are manifesting something really powerful. The Magician actually represents Mercury, which is your ruling planet again. And so I really feel like you are stepping into your magical nature. Virgos are amazing manifestors. We really, really are. And we have the ability to follow through on our manifestations. We have to work towards things. We do have to put in a little bit of effort each day, but we really can make amazing things happen. And specifically having our 5th house ruled by Capricorn, which is the season we are in, Virgos take their passions very seriously, and they have the ability to make careers out of things that they care about or to make their desires a reality because of that energy. So there's actually some really beautiful things here. And again, I feel like you're moving forward into 2024 on a very strong note, Virgo. And I think with the full moon in Leo at the end of this month on the 26th, there really is the shedding of fears. And maybe there is a lot coming up in your dreams or in your subconscious, but it feels like there is something that is being acknowledged and then shed. That feels very important to me as well. And it's kind of like getting more acquainted with your shadow side and working with that more. So it's not working against what it is that you are trying to create. Because I do feel like there could be some sort of element of self-sabotage that you are releasing in January as well. And it's probably something to do with people-pleasing or trying to make other people happy or, conditioning that you took on in your childhood or in your early life. You're kind of letting that go and you're able to move forward. And we do also have Uranus, the planet of unexpected change and awakenings, moving direct at the end of this month as well. So technically there's a few planets moving direct over the next 30 days with Jupiter, Mercury, and Uranus. And this is really a forward-moving energy. And it feels like there could be, again, this interest in learning something, learning about spirituality or magic or studying something. I feel like you could be very lucky there. There could be some travel as well, some travel opportunities that could be really nourishing for you. There's just a lot of really beautiful things on the table. Any other messages for Virgo? What is going on for relationships for Virgo? Anything that we should be aware of in relationships and love? We do have the 4 of Wands, so someone could be celebrating something. Page of Wands, very passionate energy. I feel like there's a spark in a relationship for some of you. Whether you are currently in a relationship, maybe there's like some sort of reigniting passion, or there is someone that you are meeting perhaps at a party or event. So don't say no to opportunities this month if you're looking for love. You may just meet someone and have a really passionate connection with them. But overall, I feel like there's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of possibility. There's a lot of, moving into the next level with relationships or being very interested in that. And that could look like moving in with someone. That could potentially look like a commitment or a marriage of or something like that. But I really feel like there's just something about celebrating in your relationships. Maybe your person you're interested in is celebrating something big, but it feels like there's a lot of passion. Like this passion is kind of spreading. There's this fiery energy that is growing. And it feels like it's blessing your relationships. Anything more? We do have the Ace of Pentacles as well. So yeah, I do feel like for many of you, a relationship is becoming more solid or more committed. I often think of the Ace of Pentacles as the most stable beginnings because all of the aces represent new energies and Pentacles represent Earth. So there could be a very important commitment or conversation that you're having this month, and it feels like making some sort of plan for the future or thinking about the future in a very excited way. So that's really, really fun to see. I really feel like this is just a great month for Virgos to meet someone or to really take a relationship to the next level and really find that spark or passion again. Is there anything else? Anything else for Virgo? Any other messages? Any blessings that we should be aware of? We have the Fool. So new beginnings, this represent Uranus. So again, kind of this awakening energy, sudden unexpected change. I really feel like there's just this new lease on life. You know, you aren't holding yourself back anymore. You are going after what it is that you want, even if it feels risky or some people think that it is foolish. It's important not to care so much about what people think this month for you, Virgo, because I feel like you really just need to embrace this newness, this novelty. And we do have the Queen of Pentacles as well, so I feel like you're being very blessed in whatever it is that you're working towards materially. So that could be in your career, that could be something that you are making. It just feels like you're really going at something in a very practical way. You're quite literally jumping into something or taking a very important step in the month of January, and that will be blessed. So this is a really good month to make a big move, or at least to take a step towards something that you desire. Any other messages for Virgo? Any other blessings for Virgo? Show us clearly, please. Interesting. We do have the Moon. Now, this is coming in as a blessing. The Moon often does indicate a period of confusion or even things with like uncertainty or feeling kind of lost, maybe even really in your emotions. But I feel like with the Moon here, there's something about taking aim, because this is depicted as Artemis in this deck. You are taking aim towards something. Despite whatever else is going on in your life, despite what the tides look like, you are creating your own luck, is what I'm really getting here. And for some of you, you really are letting go of self-limiting beliefs, self-sabotaging habits, and you're really moving forward and getting a kind of a grip on your mental health and your thoughts. And it's actually interesting because I was scrolling through TikTok this morning, and one of the things that came up was like this psychologist, and one of the questions that someone asked him was like, I am taking care of myself, I'm an athlete, I do sports, why don't I feel good? And his response was basically like, what's the status of your mind? Like, if you're not taking care of your mind, if you're not thinking good thoughts, then you're not going to feel good. And I really feel like ultimately there's a lot of focus here on mental health, on your mind, your mental state. And that's going to bring a lot of healing. That's where there's a lot of things shifting for you, Virgo. Excuse me. Is there any other messages? I'm kind of feeling done with the tarot. I'm going to move into the animal deck, the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck. And I really like to think of these cards as energies for you to embody. So what are the messages, or what are the energies for Virgo to embody in January? We do have the Oyster, and this is about not being afraid of sharing your gifts. You have this pearl inside of you. You have something that is worthy of sharing, and oftentimes with the Oyster, you can kind of clam up. You can hold on or hold back. This is not a month to do that. This is definitely a month to open up and even be vulnerable. And it feels like there is something that you have been working on for some time, whether it's just been in the back of your mind or just something in your heart. And it's like, it's ready, you know, open up to your gifts, open up to your heart, open up to your emotions. Some of you might be feeling like you need to protect yourself or stay in your comfort zone, but I really feel like with the Fool on the table, you're very powerful if you're able to step outside of that. Or even just move a little, inch a little bit out of it, you know, do what makes sense here. I'm not saying just do something totally crazy, but if there's something that's just been kind of, simmering for a while, Virgo, I feel like now is the time to act or to really take that more seriously. What are the other energies for Virgo to embody? We have the owl. So interesting, really connecting to your intuition, seeing the opportunities that are available to you. Owl is really good at seeing and perceiving the world around it, and I feel like you are seeing opportunities. You are opening up to possibilities that you previously didn't allow yourself to acknowledge or really consider for yourself. I think there's a lot more in your life that is possible than you have realized, Virgo, and maybe on some level you've kept yourself small or kept, you were playing it safe. And I feel like now there is this desire to see something beyond that. And I think with the oyster, it really is like kind of opening yourself up to the world, with the world on the table here with that Queen of Cups that I was talking about, like wanting to stay in your comfort zone or stay with what is familiar to you. It's actually really important that you kind of venture into the wild unknown, into that night, into that darkness, and share your gifts, share your light, because there are some really beautiful things that are unfolding for you if you move towards them, if you really take that action. And honestly, Virgo, I think that is everything. I do hope that this was helpful. Definitely be sure to hit like and subscribe, especially if you've made it this far into the video. Hit the bell notification so you can always stay up to date with what's in the cards for you. And again, I do have a sale on astrology readings, so if you're curious what 2024 has in store for you, you can use the code in the stars at checkout and get 20% off a chart reading. That's always really exciting, especially this time of year. And yeah, I will see you all in the next video. Take care, Virgo, and have a happy January.